coming to you from the world where the Triforce Goddesses and the Random Number Gods collide. This is the Link to the Past Randomizer League, and it's about to get mysterious because this is the Mystery Seed Week. Hi again, everybody. I'm Jex Reffi, and joined to me today is Nihon Tiger. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing all right. How you doing, Jex?
I am doing all right. So we have got the Pyramid of Power division. We've got carnathfd from Team 63 and a third. And we've got iamtheschwarz from Team Broken Triforce. It looks like a very interesting division itself, because we've got Phendrana Drifters and Titans Mids with 15 points, Broken Triforce and Tal Rumies with 12, and Team 63 and a third with 9. So it's a kind of a tight division.
That it is. It's pretty evenly matched throughout here, and of course Carnath and Schwartz are two runners that, if you've been around for a while and been watching tournaments and past league matches, you've very likely seen these two race at some point or another. So they're both pretty well-known names, and if you're new, well, welcome in, and we'll do our best to kind of help guide you along.
We are going to have a little bit of a problem, because again, this is the Mystery Seed Week, so we don't even know what in the world they're about to go through.
Yep. They don't know, and we don't know, and we're all going to find out together, so it'll be fun.
What's going on here? There. Okay, sorry. My muting my mic was going a little screwbally there, but yeah, I mean, we've got so many different options. We could have entrance shuffle, we could have Randomizer, which the EN6 at the bottom, I think, could mean Randomizer. I don't know if the Mystery Seed just always puts that there.
I think it does.
Okay.
I'm not too certain on that. We'll see.
Well, we will only find out once the seed gets underway.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, the runners don't even know. Okay, we're being told that is Randomizer, so we may for certain have Randomizer in this. Alright, so we know for certain Randomizer is going to be a part of this. And we're off. Piece of heart at Link's house to start. And with Mystery Seed, apparently we all have a sword to start as 2.
Yep. And it's definitely open mode. The fact that it's not raining out should have given us a hint that it wasn't standard.
Yep. Alright, so enemies look the same. So it may just be the bosses that got randomized.
Indeed.
And Sanctuary being at the blind bat means this is entrance shuffle.
Oh boy. I was about to say, we didn't really get a shuffle here. It's key sanity as well.
Oh!
Because Carnath just picked up the big key to Desert Palace from Uncle.
So we've got entrance shuffle and we've got key sanity.
Oh boy. Get out those notepads, everybody. It's time to start remembering.
Alright, we got a small key to Skullwoods.
And we've also got Hype Cave here in the bush-covered house in Kakariko. Now, of course, with entrance randomizer, some of the entrances are not quite as randomized as others.
Alright, so we got the library there. So let's see what the Chicken Shack has. It is Turtle Rock, so right now I wouldn't be surprised if we got an early Cross Keys seed, because Cross Keys is next week.
Oh boy. Certainly a lot for everyone to keep an eye on tonight.
And there we have Thieves Town at the Dam.
That's not bad. Get to pick up 4 chests here at the start, at the very least. And there's Bugnet.
More bombs, a rupee, a big key to Eastern, and more bombs.
Indeed. Of course, it's always good to have these big keys, but you got to have a place to take them, and might not be where we've had them so far.
All right. Now, the one thing I did say it might be cross keys. The one thing we won't know that until we actually see a connector room and see it dip out into the dark world. And there's a power glove. So French vanilla glove. So both the runners are going around. There is the Lost Wood Shack. And just a compass.
And a heart there in Sanctuary.
Now, one thing with entrance shuffle that you need to be careful of is that if you have a hole, if you fall down a hole, you need to go through the door first, because if it's Ganon, you're stuck and you gotta save and quit.
Yep.
So other than the glove and a couple keys, we really haven't found much in terms of progression yet. Oh, there's GT.
Ooh, and I saw it hanging out in the Hope Room.
Nah,
Looks like
go ahead, sorry.
I was gonna say Schwartz looks like they're doing a death warp to get back to the entrance and head on.
I was just gonna make the standard quip of, oh, Ice Rod early? I guess that means Turtle Rock's appended. Granted, this may still be enemy. The bosses may still be shuffled, so we may not even know where Trinex is. We don't. Oh, so the Randomizer text on the menu was there, but from what we can tell, the enemies themselves are not shuffled, so that leads us to believe that it's the bosses that are going to have to be shuffled. All right. So not so much new from here. So Carnath sees GT. And Schwartz is going all the way back. I think he's heading for... Looks like he's gonna go check what the lumberjack is. Also do the tree pole for arrows. Bush crab's only showing single rupees today, so that's not gonna help us much. And we got a dark room, so that could potentially get us up to Death Mountain. But we're not gonna see that just yet. And there, oh boy, there's the well. So our well is Agalock. There we have the back of Skullwoods. So Schwartz is going to go check what that one chest is. And just a big 20. So most likely going to Death Warp and then keep going on in the woods.
Yep, Death Warp right there. Another quick little bit of tech there from Schwartz, who's going to head on out for the back half of Skullwoods, which is kind of an interesting location there, almost in the identical location it would be in the overworld if it were the Dark World.
Alright. And Lumberjack just has a piece of heart. So I think that means Ganon's in his vanilla location. Because 4 of the 5 holes are in the light world. And the last one is at the pyramid where Ganon is. So I'm pretty sure that means Ganon is at the pyramid.
That would make sense.
Schwartz gonna go ahead and head over to Lake Hylia and check the fortune teller house. And there's a connector. Lake Hylia Island just having sticks. And there's the safety door of Turtle Rock. Schwartz having trouble trying to get that beetle to fall down. Finally gets it done.
Yeah, it can be a bit tricky.
Having a bit of problem with the laser skips and just gonna go ahead and die here. Simultaneous death warps. Alright, there's a big key to Thieves Town. So that now means that Thieves Town can be completed, but without the hammer, you won't be able to check the hammer and the small key. You won't be able to check the big chest. Schwartz on 1 heart. Gotta be careful. Gets the laser skip and another big 20. Carnath, meanwhile, taking the dark room, and apparently it was the old man one, because he is taking the old man to Death Mountain, which comes out of Spectacle Rock today. And get some nice Powder Force troubles.
Well, Schwartz heading on over. It looks like to go to Sahasrarla's hut, but it's probably not Sahasrarla's hut on the inside.
It's a house. Boom, we got a connector. All right. Do we end up in Light World or Dark World? We end up... Dark World, this is Cross Keys.
That it is.
Cross Keys with Boss Shuffle. Oh boy. Oh, this is gonna be fun.
Oh, this is going to be something else. It sounds like that we've already had this before today, so welcome to week 4, everybody.
Which in some ways is week 5, but it worse, but hey, what do you know? Alright, so both runners kind of making their way. Alright, we've got a map inside Spectacle Rock. Or, you know, what is Spectacle Rock? Hey, there's Blind Hut.
Ooh, big key for Ice Palace.
Nice.
And small key for Misery Mire. And big 20.
And
And
Bombos. Chat bringing up a good point. We don't know how many crystals they're actually going to have to complete. Carnathfd in the back of desert, but forgetting, hey, I don't have a fire source, so I can't go kill Lammolas. So Schwartz taking his big key of Thieves Town. This is his first dip in. We'll see if he actually decides to go all the way.
Indeed. He's got the option to with that big key. But obviously the small key is going to lock the big key chest, so if there's an item in there, he's not going to be able to get to that until he's got the small key of the match.
Yeah, I mean, at this point with this being mystery, I'd almost at least go ahead and go, so that way we can see, you know, see what the boss is.
Yeah, you may as well get some intel on that.
But he's not going to. Just gonna keep on going. Bunny Revival is not in the logic. It is allowed, but it's not in logic. Is Mystery Seed a mode, or we don't know what the seed is? It's we don't know what the seed is.
Yes.
You can't do it on the website, but if you go to the link to the Past Randomizer Discord in the Sahasrara bot, you can say mystery, and it will basically spit out a mystery seed to you. So we found Meyer. Right, there's Hookshot Cave.
Of course, without the hook shot, you would need the boots to be able to get one chest out of it. And oh, that is the entrance into side entrance into Desert Palace. The entrance
And
nobody really gets to go into.
And Sahasrahla Carnath has found Sahasrahla, and Thieves Town is the green pendant.
Ooh, interesting.
And there's the mirror in desert. Carnath finding Paradox Cave. So you've got 2 entrances and 7 items. Okay, Desert Palace left side dumps out into the Aga Tower section. And, oh hey, there's Aga Tower. How convenient.
And of course, one of the interesting things is too that since this is cross keys, there's indeed a small key Desert Palace because sometimes. Oh, and there's the hammer in Paradox Cave.
Very nice.
Indeed, and I was just about to say, before that, I was hammer interrupted there. Oh, and Schwartz finding the back entrance there into Turtle Rock, but yeah, with cross keys and with key sanity, those two chests in Castle Tower actually become something more than just keys, possibly.
Mm-hmm. GFE, we know that it is cross keys, and we think the bosses are shuffled.
Yep. The only thing is we haven't seen a boss yet to figure out if the bosses are shuffled.
Alright, so we got dumped into the mire area on Carnath's side. Just shop there. So both runners are kind of just still kind of combing over the overworld and seeing what's available. Schwartz, I think now that he found the big key to desert, is going back to desert and going to see what the big chest has. Actually, he also got the small key. I missed that. Alright, so... Ooh! Phantom Ryu cries in the wilderness because we got a cane. Oh, I missed that. Oh, apparently I missed that on Schwartz's side. Sorry, guys! Alright. And we got a heart piece that led to a full heart container. And there is... So... The center of Desert Palace leads to the Pyramid Ledge, and it's just a compass. Carnath has now found Desert as well.
Yes, indeed. And getting to see iamtheschwarz using that adorable little bunny sprite.
Carnath has his mirror.
Ooh, and that's where the dam is. It's in the Dark World.
He's gonna try to set up a Super Bunny glitch.
Yep.
And he got it.
Nicely done.
Red meringue there. Opts to not pull the damn switch, though. Carnath making his way through Hookshot Cave at this point. Man, the connectors are kind of brutal because they keep getting dumped into places that they can't go back in. Nice.
I always find it interesting when we get to see the bunny sprites.
Schwartz trying to do bunny glitch, but not having too much luck.
Hey, but Carnath's around Tower of Hera.
Yeah.
Probably pausing. I think probably pausing for a moment there, just to mark it. Anytime you see. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, you go ahead, man.
I was going to say that anytime you see somebody pause here for a moment, what they're doing is they're probably either have a notepad next to them or they have a tracking program open, and they're just marking these locations because it can be incredibly complex where these entrances shuffle around to in cross keys and entrance shuffle.
Yeah. I was going to say, you could try to do a bunny revival, but the thing is, Hera's kind of the one dungeon that you really can't. Alright, Carnath manages to get a health refill. Schwartz, meanwhile, has found Paradox Cave, so we'll be getting his hammer shortly. Assuming he actually goes for the items, which she does. Alright. Schwartz has his hammer. Carnath trying to work on the laser skips, but at Green Mail, you're pretty much getting one shot on those lasers.
Ooh, Carnath out of magic, unable to use that cape, so he's just kind of having to brute force as best he can.
I think that's the one with the big key.
And this is a little bit tricky with the. Oh, actually, ooh, I see what he's doing. He's gonna go. Nope, a little too far there. Yeah, I think he might thought better of it. But it looks like the plan was to try and get the full magic refill that's in the basement roller coaster there in Turtle Rock, the little maze you have to go through. And unfortunately, it looks like he just kind of missed the placement of the block and forgot kind of how far he could walk out, which is very easy to do because that's not usually a way that you enter that room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're gonna check this connector now. Carnath was thinking about it. I'm not sure if he wants to or not. Schwartz did do laser bridge already.
Yes.
Alright, so we're gonna see what Hylia Island has. And it's pod. No keys, so if he decides to go in, which he does, he's only gonna be able to check that first chest. Without a bottle or a bow, he can't go any further, so out he goes. So we know for certain this is cross keys. We've seen the Randomizer symbol, but the overruled enemies are still the same, so we think the bosses are shuffled, but we have not been able to confirm that yet.
Yeah, because we got the code at the beginning. It looked like it said Randomizer, but we haven't seen, obviously, regular enemies get shuffled around, so the assumption here is that it's probably boss shuffle, if anything. Oh,
Right.
and Schwartz is going back into GT.
He's gonna do tile room.
Interesting. He's got to do it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, there's no cape in this one. He's gonna go with the red meringue. Alright. All that work for a big 20. So now we've got Carnath going over to the eastern area, which I think Schwartz has been here already. With that hammer, Schwartz is going to show us what Mimic Cave has, and it's a small key for pod. So that'll get us started on that.
And it's kind of interesting with this setup, obviously, being cross keys. Still haven't seen the boss yet, just because we're still kind of gathering all the materials we need to get into some of these dungeons and even find where some of them are in the first place.
Yeah, that's the thing with entrance shuffle, especially the cross key variety, is that you're going to be spending a lot of time right now just figuring out what the map is. Usually about the first hour, you're focusing on figuring out where things are, and then as things go along, that's when you kind of start to, dip into dungeons and figure out what you can and can't do.
Yep. So, if you want to go ahead and make yourself a snack or something right now, feel free to. You can step away for a couple minutes, come on back, and we'll keep you in the loop about what's going on here.
This is going to be a long one, that is for certain.
Yep. So make sure you're comfy.
Okay, Carnath decides to nope. Schwartz making his way over to the Zora area, which is new information for us. Okay, Waterfall of Wishing today is the Dark Chapel.
Indeed. I think that's one of the things I like about cross keys and entrance shuffle as well, is that because you're all over the place, you get to pop in and see things that normally you don't see in a randomizer run very often. A lot of these kind of locations you forget exist.
Mm-hmm. Carnath going back to the Mire area. With the mirror now, I assume this is to go to the Checkerboard Cave location.
Yep, so we just have a really quick question in chat from Barnabas. It seems like chat's on it, but just to mention, is there a difference between cross keys and key sanity? Yes. Key sanity is your basic shuffle here that you're seeing where keys get moved all around, but locations are all the same. Cross keys adds on top of that cross-world entrance randomizer. So what we've got is the entrances all moved around, and there's also several points where you can move between light and dark world through buildings instead of having to go through portals.
Very nicely done.
And for anyone who's wondering what key sanity is, since we've kind of briefly touched about that, what happens is as Carnath picking up the Titansmith's second upgrade on the desert ledge. So what that does is it moves around. There's a couple different variations on it. There's one I think that moves just the keys around, and there's one that moves the keys and the dungeon items around. So they'll be in different chests and different dungeons, and you kind of have to figure out where to go for all of them.
Yeah, so the thing is, in version 31, it used to be either it was key sanity or it was not. What they've since changed in version 31 is you have the full-on key sanity, or they now have a map compass shuffle, where the keys will still be in their respective dungeons, but the maps and compasses will be shifted around. You won't know what dungeon is a pendant or a crystal based on until you have the map.
Right.
But you know going in that the keys for said dungeon are in there.
Right. That is much better way of explaining it than I did, and very accurate. We've got the full key sanity shuffle here, obviously, because we've got the keys and the big keys are all moving around.
Yeah. Don't sell yourself short though, man. You did good. It was totally fine.
So yeah. So what's going to have to happen here is, generally for each dungeon, there are a certain number of keys that you need to have to get through each dungeon. It'll kind of differ depending on where the items are placed. Some spots are more skippable than others, like here in Palace of Darkness. There's also a couple skips, like we just saw there. The Hammer Jump from Schwartz allows him to bypass needing a key for the Dark Maze here. And we can explain a little bit about Hammer Jump as well in a moment. And you got the big key at Turtle Rock, and the bottom, I think it's the bottom right chest. Looks like he's heading up to the top left here. A little bit lost, but that happens in here. It's a little easy to lose your way. But yeah, there are usually a certain number of keys that you'll need to get through each dungeon. And generally, the randomizer always goes for the idea that you're going to use the most keys possible when placing items.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't necessarily need to get all the keys, because some of those items will be junk that you don't really want, but you won't know that ahead of time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it has the logic has to assume the worst case scenario in terms of using the keys, which is why it has to assume that you use them the worst possible way, which for Pod is 6. Now there are ways to negate 2 of those keys. One, if you know how to hammer jump, which is do a bomb jump to where the big chest is, where the hammer usually is. And then you can also save one by using the bow to go through the bow locked side and avoid having to open the front door.
Oh, and yep, that is correct. And just to catch back up here, Chad's noticing this, and I noticed it as well. Moon Pearl's on the floating island, so we're gonna need to find that entrance from the Dark World side that leads up to Floating Island, or from wherever it is.
And that guarantees that the front of, or that the entrance to the floating island is gonna be is how you're meant to get there.
Yes. Indeed it is, Days Cloud. It is another cross keys.
That it is. Oh, we got Trinex in Thieves Town, so we know bosses are shuffled. So yeah, we got cross keys, we got boss shuffle. Oh, this is gonna be a long race, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, we got the brewery here for a map.
Desert Palace map.
Nice.
So one of the things to keep in mind too is that the keys that are not in chests are going to be in their vanilla location. So for example, if you kill an enemy to get a key or it's underneath the pot, it will be there in the game as is. So those do not get moved around.
Nope. No, they do not.
Yep. So yeah, like examples of that would be the back half of Eastern Palace, the dark room back there where you have to kill the Igor to get the key, or the keys that are under various pots, including the one that's here in Thieves Town that's underneath the pot on the left side right before blind.
Chad also pointing out there's still more stuff we have to figure out. We don't know if this is all dungeons. We don't know if this is, why am I blanking on it? Or if this is a certain number, or if there's only a certain number of crystals to finish. There's still a lot. Like,
Yes.
There's still more to this that the randomizer can be trolling to our runners.
That's true. You're thinking the good old fast scan in there, huh?
Possibly. There's a lot there. There's a lot still on the table.
And one of the things about fast scanning is it won't tell you. I don't think it'll tell you ahead of time. You know that you're gonna only need to do 6 dungeons instead of 7.
Well, I think the signs there's signs at GT and at the pyramid.
Oh yeah, that might do that.
There's a Carnath about to get his bad news that Trinex is there. How many keys do you need to do reverse Turtle Rock? 2. Because going backwards, you don't need to worry about. The only keys you really need to worry about would be at the vanilla big key chest, and you would need the keys for the doors on the first floor, where the chain chomp room is.
Yep, and it should mention that it's on the right side, not the left side there, nearby the blind store. There's a heart on the left side. I got them backwards in my head.
That's okay.
Yeah. I knew what the two things were, I usually get both pots, so I kind of forgot that the key's on the right side there for a moment.
Carnath continuing to go through Thieves Town and the items that are available there that he's got. And yeah, as Chat's pointing out, at this point the key thing to both of our runners is trying to find... We know the Moon Pearl's in the floating island, so we need to find the connector that gets us there to be able to get the Moon Pearl.
Right. We also still have a couple of needs here for different things. Looks like Schwartz is thinking. I know Schwartz is going to go to the left here and go toward the boss. Maybe get some intelligence on where what's here. We might finally get to see our...
Sorry, yeah. He's got the big key, so you might as well check it out.
Yep.
And it's Argus.
Yep. Hello, Boss Shuffle. We are indeed on the plate tonight. So Schwartz is going to try and do the thing that Carnath tried to do here earlier. And there we go.
Yeah, I think he was out of magic was the problem.
Is he still? Yeah, he was. Still, oh, that's right. Yeah, because he's on magic. He couldn't even do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of weird that he went there and did that in the first place.
I don't think he realized he was out of magic until it was too late.
That would make sense. Yeah. So the tricky thing about this is that it's not a difficult room to get through. It's just a matter of remembering everything. And we did see somebody in chat ask, "How many keys do you need to get?" Oh, there's a big key there for Misery Mire. How many keys do you need to do Reverse Turtle Rock? I feel like the answer is... I'm trying to remember here. I feel like the answer is 2.
Yeah.
Because you would need 1 for Trinex, the Trinex room, and then you need 1 for that room on the right.
Yeah, you need 1 for the Pokey, for the vanilla one, and then you need 1 as you're going through the doors for the...
oh, yeah. Correct.
Why can't I get the word out?
The one on the... Yep. It looks like Carnath has found Super Money Cave in Ice Palace.
Interesting.
Yeah, small key to pod. So one of the interesting things, like we're seeing Schwarz go through right now, go through in this reverse. You don't always get to see this. The fact this is something that traditionally only happens in entrance shuffle. So it's kind of interesting to watch him walk through some backwards locked doors here.
Mm-hmm. Oh, 1 heart. Chain chomp's gonna hurt. Gotta be careful. Got it. Bombs.
Yep. And so right now we're locked out of there. You don't got a key there. Schwarz. Oh, he's gonna death warp back.
Meanwhile, Carnath is gonna show us what's in Super Bunny Cave. Aptly named Super Bunny Cave because falling down allows you to become Super Bunny and get those 2 items.
Yep.
And there is our connector.
Aha!
That is how you get the Moon Pearl.
Interesting. So it's Ice Palace, which leads to Super Bunny Cave, and then that spits you out on top of the floating island. Very interesting.
So now we got the Rupee Farm. And now Carnath is heading into Hera. Can only really do the first 2 chests. Well, first 2 checks, because one of them is not a chest, it's just an open heart container.
Ooh!
So, hey, we can go kill Trinex now.
Well, we can. For sure. That's a little bit funny text there. I like that.
Mm-hmm. See what Schwarz or Carnath decides to do from here. Lumberjack Cave is the well. So if we want those 5 items, we're Agalock. Oh wait, did Schwartz leave the fire rod? Oh boy. Super Bunny Cave entrance was at Ice Palace. So
Yes.
Schwartz is going to need the Titan's mitts to be able to open up the portal, and then that will get him into Ice Palace.
And to get those are going to probably be on Desert Ledge. So yeah, he's going to have a bit of wandering about to do here.
So Carnath is going to go a little bit further into Pod now that we have... Oh wait, didn't Schwartz already go through Pod? So now we're going to see Hobo. Just a piece of heart. I'm trying to remember if Carnath has already showed us. Well, no, Carnath is the one with the flipper, so I don't know if he wouldn't have showed us if he was doing that.
Ooh, and gonna get in the cape there now finally for Schwartz. That'll help him do a few more things.
Mm-hmm. All right. Schwartz, meanwhile, is going to go ahead and finish off Desert. We have not seen what this boss is.
Yep. One thing, unfortunately, for Schwartz, not having that fire source, he's not going to be able to get to the back boat.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about that.
Yep. Does know where it is, though, and we do know where the fire source is if Schwartz can get to it.
Carnath now has the Zaga Tower key in the blue mail. Oh yeah, that was Hera. That was where it was. But Schwartz has made his way up to Death Mountain. Carnath having that fire rod, though, now he's going to be the one who shows us what the Desert Palace boss is.
Carnath now is going to take care of. I did say Lamola's, but it could be any boss. Could be Lamola's, could be something else entirely that maybe we don't even have the materials to beat yet.
Well, let's open the door, and it's Armos Knights.
So technically, we are going to see Carnath go ahead and use the slow. Actually, no, maybe use the fire rod instead. Then speed it up a little bit.
Gets at least one Armos Knight down. And now gonna go with Hammer. Which don't the swords work in reverse in terms of damage? Wouldn't you be better off with the fighter sword?
I think so. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah. On the other hand, it might be a little bit less tricky with the hammer because it doesn't have such a tiny hitbox.
Kucheri in chat is saying no. That's
Okay.
Not the case.
Okay. Alright. He's going with spins now.
Hammer is 12 hits. Gold is okay. So
Okay.
see, I thought for some reason I heard that the swords actually worked in reverse. That the higher the sword, the more damage, the less damage it did. But I guess I was mistaken. My apologies.
Yeah. It's kind of easy sometimes to mix all that up because there's a lot of different changes that have been made. Like the fact that you can even use the gold sword on Motula in the randomizer is not something you can do in the vanilla game because of how they programmed the Motula fight.
Because the gold sword damage is the spike damage.
Right. And so in order to not have Motula kill itself, you needed to have it pass through on damage. So that meant that I think you both these killed at the same time. That would be super, super nice. And I think that's what what's Carnath's trying to do here. He's trying to time these so that they both die simultaneously.
That would be a good idea.
Otherwise, one of them.
Oh, yeah. Well, that didn't work out.
Nope. Let's try. Yeah, be careful. He's at one heart. The only nice thing is that this guy makes it a little easier to track where he's going. He just kind of tries to stop you all the time.
Okay, so okay. He's almost there. One heart, though. He's got to be careful.
Yep. So, I think the one thing I would say is, on a time-wise, this is kind of a fairly large time sink for Carnath, so he needs to make sure he gets this, because he's probably, I mean, if Schwartz comes back here later with like Bo, he's going to have a much easier, much quicker time of doing this. So he's got to make sure that if he's going to do it this way, that he does it and just gets out of here.
He's got it.
Nice. And there's a big key. It's a big key to GT, so woo.
Ooh, that was the long one, but we got it. He got it done. We didn't do anything. We just sat here and watched.
That was very well executed by Carnath. In the end, got what he wanted. So And Short's now going, trying to walk across to get to Bumper Cave. Or where Bumper Cave is on the other side.
Fear Agent bringing up a good point. We're an hour in. That was the first crystal. That's cross keys for you.
Yeah, nobody's read the signs yet, so we don't quite have an answer for that.
They've been to the pyramid, and bunnies can read. Despite popular belief, bunnies do read.
So a good thing for Schwartz is about to pick up that Titan's mid. So next step to getting that Moon Pearl.
Yep, we know the Moon Pearl is at the floating island. So you need to take those Titan's mitts, you need to go to Ice Palace, and then go through Super Bunny Cave, and that will take you to the floating island for the Moon Pearl.
Yep. Cross keys is fun.
Cross keys is fun. It's painful as all get out, but it's fun.
So AC Paragon asking, how do we get the fire rod? It is inside the chest that is
It's the map. It's the map chest in Hera. It's the one on the first floor, essentially.
Yeah, the one that's on the little kind of pedestal thingy. Lobby chest. Thank you for a better explanation for what I was going to say. The only thing, Schwartz does know where Hera is. The problem is he's still in bunny form because it's in the Dark World. So he's got to be able to get out of bunny form to be able to go in there and open the chest up. Ooh!
I looked down, I heard an ooh, I don't know what that means.
Carnath found boots.
Ooh, the fantastic footwear.
Yep, right side Turtle Rock. Now, Carnath's going through the front, so we now know everything that's in TR. Unfortunately, he's going to get to here and find that, thou shall not pass. He's going to find bombs in here. Yep, there they are. It's going to be mirror out, but he's got the boots.
That'll certainly be useful.
Yep, Schwartz came back through the back way, so they kind of both ended up in the same room, but we saw it through different sides. Schwartz, though, is in Super Bunny Cave.
Meanwhile, Carnath is going back to GT.
He's going to go left.
Yeah,
he's going left side.
Sorry. Nah, you're fine. With Hammer and with the boots in toll, that means now the left side is open. Technically, you still need the hook shot because you need a bomb jump in order to get across here and then bonk the rest of your way there. And Schwartz has his Moon Pearl.
Yep. And Carnath's going to do the bomb jump here. So, just barely got bonked off to the right there. I was going to say, if he could do that, how far would he go on the left side? Would we see the illustrious... Oh, he's going to go to the top? No, he's going to go... Oh, he's going to go full right clear here because he's got 2 keys.
Yep.
was gonna say, are we gonna see the illustrious big chest in GT?
Oh, I think we might. And Schwartz has his fire rod.
Indeed. And Carnath doing the little glitch here that I love to do. I love to see it done. In case you didn't know, in the randomizer, because it's version 1.0, there's a glitch involving in the Japanese 1.0 where if you equip the cape and you grab onto a wall and you pull back on it, you don't even have to pull back on it. People just do it for swag. But if you're grabbing a wall while you have the cape activated, it doesn't drain your magic.
No, it does not.
And it's a super easy way to get through these tile rooms.
Mm-hmm. Super useful.
Yep. I'm just gonna powder the fairy. That's a smart move. I like that.
Yes, very nicely done.
And clear out the Gibdo.
Ooh,
Get a full...
gets a full magic refill even though there's one in the pot.
Yeah. Very frick convenient.
Alright, Skullwoods is a crystal. We got a map check from Schwartz.
Alright. Well, let's see what's over here. Shovel. Big key to Hera.
Alright. And a bottle.
Mm-hmm. It'll be very interesting here to see. Do we get a mirror? Yep. Is this going to be back out?
He thought about it, but he's back out. Ooh, hey, we found Hyrule Castle.
Uh-huh. There'll not only be some goodies back here, but there's a couple of entrances we could explore and exits we could explore as
Alright. Carnath, meanwhile, is going into the Skullwoods area. Now, Skullwoods is unique because of its maze-like nature that the front of Skullwoods is always in the front of Skullwoods. The back of Skullwoods, that can be shuffled in, which also means the back of Skullwoods entrance is also shuffled in. Interesting fact, even though I don't think the entrance randomizer is version... No, it is version 31, but the thing is that you still have to have the key in order to not get locked out.
right.
In entrance.
Yeah, if you play through a vanilla state there, that's no longer guaranteed to be a key. And there's a lamp. Hello.
We can finally see.
Oh, there's the bow.
Archer class achieved.
Yep, Schwartz finding the bow in the rescue portion of the castle. And all that for a battle.
Okay, there was the bow involved in that.
Yeah. Well, I was more referring to going through all of the very hard and difficult bits there.
Ah.
Get all the way down to Zelda's prison cell, and there's just a bottle in there waiting for you.
Ah, I see.
Nope.
Well,
Schwartz bringing Kiki with him. Gonna open this one up here.
don't think we've seen Pod yet.
Oh, we just came out. We just popped out of it.
Okay. We got
Yeah, so
popped
Schwartz-
out.
Yeah, it's the front of Castle. Schwartz was just opening it up to make sure that he could get back here in the future.
Good idea.
Yep.
And now we're going to check the left side. And it's Hype Cave.
Interesting. And Swamp Palace is Bonk Rocks. And just a big 20.
Alright. Schwartz heading back over to the pyramid. Carnath finding half magic. Alright. Schwartz is going to read. We need 7 crystals. So, yeah. We're about 1/14 of the way to both of the runners finishing this off.
Woohoo!
Alright, there's the right side of Turtle Rock. And just a big 20 in the chest.
I see chat just like, it's like, alright, gonna set my alarm. We'll see you in 6 hours.
We'll be here.
Oh.
And Carnath heading to the back of Skullwoods. Now, this may be Mafia, this may be something else, because this is Boss Shuffle. So nice when the Gibdos are magic drops. Alright. Carnath heads into the last room, falls down the hole, and gets to face Vanilla Mafia. What do you know?
Well, that half magic will sure come in handy now.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Just gotta make sure those hits count, though. It's doing good so far. Should be able to do this. Yeah, there we go.
Very nicely done.
For a big 50 and a crystal.
That is crystal number 2 for Carnath. There's Eastern. Is that new?
Yes. I don't think we've seen that yet.
So we got some new information. So since the enemies are not shuffled, the red Igors are still gonna block you from being able to get to the boss without the bow. It's only the bosses that are shuffled in this. What are the red dots on the Thieves Town and pod icons on the tracker? So what that means is that is a way to indicate that the pendant in Thieves Town is the green pendant, and that the pod is one of the 5-6 crystals, which is important to open up Pyramid Fairy. Green pendant will also allow you to talk to Sahasrara, who will give you an item.
So AC Paragon's asking, where are the boots? They are on the right side of Turtle Rock at the front. I believe in the left side, left chest in that room too. And there's Ether.
Alright, so there's all our medallions.
Now, unfortunately, Ether doesn't really do a whole lot here besides offer really cool ability to freeze. Would be freeze the bird in Misery Mire. You do the bird toss, whatever you'd like, but you don't need it for either dungeon access at this point.
Not today.
Corinth's asking, 80 minutes in, no crystals. Leave talking about Schwartz. What is cause of the suffering? Just a little bit behind here on being able to pick up items, get into dungeons, and just finding a couple of locations, really.
Mm-hmm.
Schwartz does have the bow, though, so that's going to be super beneficial.
Yeah, I think the issue here is not so much that Schwartz can finish some dungeons. Like, he could finish Skullwoods, he could finish Desert Palace. So the one thing I would say is that, yes, Schwartz is kind of behind, but at the same time, it wouldn't be that hard for him to catch up if he were to go do those 2 dungeons, which he's seen both
Right.
of them.
And really, for Carnath, the big advantage here right now is just having the boots, and having that extra speed when moving around.
Mhm.
And he's going to get a big key out of it. Big key for Skull Woods, in fact.
Schwartz. Yeah, because I think the thing with Schwartz right now is I think he's more focused on trying to figure out continuing to search for dungeons.
Right. Once you figured out that puzzle, then you're kind of not too badly off there. Oh, that's an interesting place for King's Tomb to be.
Well, just 50
It's
bucks.
a big 50. Yep. Yeah, Schwartz unfortunately having to do hammer pegs without the fun of dashing, since he doesn't have the boots yet. There's Myershed.
Gets a piece of heart and a big 20. And that Myershed brought to you by Red Things.
Yep. So Carnath needs to find a bow at some point here, probably. It'll be helpful, I think. Maybe he doesn't need to because we've already seen the one boss that really gets help with bow, but it wouldn't be too bad to find one. He's got the 2 rods here for running into Trinex. Hookshot definitely needs that to take care of Argus, which we know is in Turtle Rock. And Carnath has now found Hyrule Castle, going to Hype Cave.
So he'll be doing the back.
Ooh, there's Ice Palace.
Alright. So nice that we found ice.
Yeah, Carnath is probably going to find bow soon, because if I remember right, it's coming up here shortly.
Yeah, it's in the boomerang chest. There it is. Archer class achieved. I mean, in terms of the seed for the runners, it's like the seed hasn't been too terrible. I mean, it's basically at this point I would just call it your classic cross key. The runners have just kind of been. The runners have never really been kind of cornered or bottlenecked into a specific thing. They've kind of had plenty to do. But certainly, since both of these runners are going to be entertaining us for quite a while, it's a good time to remind you that you should please give both carnathfd and iamtheschwarz follows on Twitch for this entertainment that they are going to be providing us in extra fashion tonight.
Indeed. I like rhetorical answer in chat saying, almost 90 minutes in, only one dungeon completed between the two. Well, 2 dungeons now, actually.
Yeah.
This seed hasn't been too terrible. Well, it hasn't actually been that awful considering its cross keys. These can be quite lengthy races simply because of how much stuff is shuffled around. It can be quite a bit to have to navigate.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing. It's that it's not like it's a lot. Don't get me wrong. Like the fact that we're an hour and a half in, and we're at most only 2 dungeons in. Like this is, if you run cross keys, it is intensive, and you're having to hold a lot of information. But you're not. But the thing about it is that like this seed isn't as especially trolly as some of the ones that I've run, more specifically like one I ran last night. Oh, that was painful. Like for example, in that one, the last crystal dungeon, which was Ice Palace, was hidden behind the 5-6 crystals. So I basically last locationed Ice Palace because of just how complicated it was to get the 2 5-6 crystals finished.
Yeah, and that's kind of one of the things that can catch people out with cross keys. Is just sometimes these locations you need to go to, whether they're dungeons or locations where a required item are just very far out of the way, and sometimes will require a bit more finagling than you might normally expect. So it can be quite the difficult puzzle to put together, and to kind of branch everything together. If you laid it out in your wall, it would look like one of those conspiracy theory walls with like things posted all over the place and string going between them all. And it would just look kind of like you had some kind of grand conspiracy theory about moon pearls, Ganon, and Illuminati.
But honestly, like speaking as a game developer, like that's the fun. That is the fun of cross. Is
Indeed.
You know part of the whole thing about Zelda in general is that you're dealing with a game where basically as you're going through dungeons or as you're going through the world, you're having to put, you know, when you played through a Zelda game for the first time, you're basically having to go through and basically keep track of the world or the dungeon in your head. And, you know, remembering, you know, backtrack, go here, backtrack here, and trying to keep all of that information in your head at once. And so that's part of what the fun of cross keys is every time the world is different, and not only are you having to remember how to execute through the different things, but you're also having to keep track of the world in your head.
Yep, it's like when you were a small child and your parents didn't buy the player's guide, so you didn't have that to kind of help you navigate everything, and you didn't want to call the Nintendo Power Hotline to get all the cool tips and tricks. And yep, Swart's picking up the first crystal, going through and getting Skullwood taken care of, while Carnath is navigating through Ice Palace, deciding to go in after finding it.
And with only a heart and a half, although got a heart drop there.
They can pick it up.
Going with the bombing the Pen Gator strategy.
Interesting. Oh!
Ooh, just a bit outside.
Very close. Yep.
Alright, he's got him trapped in a corner there, and there you go, and there's a small key. It's a pod.
Yeah, he's setting up. Looks like he's not going to do Icebreaker tonight. Can't say I blame him, given the number of chests that you kind of still need to wander around and get. got keys outstanding and trying to set this up. And he did a me.
Did it you?
Yeah, I always screw this up.
Oh. I don't know if that's necessarily you, because I
No.
always do that with my
Yeah.
too.
That's one of the many things I've been practicing to get better.
Hey, we all got room to improve and get better and learn.
Yep. And there's always a lot of interesting tech that's kind of evolving as well. We were talking about Icebreaker. Here's one of the older tricks, obviously. Ice Palace Bomb Jump. We're going to see Carnath line up the sprite and beautifully executed first try. But Icebreaker is one of the new strats that involves Kina Samaria, and the far right room on the second floor there of Ice Palace. And usually what happens is once you go down into the basement, you usually can't get through that room, but they found a way to get a Kina Samaria block if you're lined up just right to push you through the wall, and that lets you kind of skip a whole bunch of stuff here if you don't want to go in there and do it.
So real quick update, Schwartz is now going through Swamp... Well, okay, right, he doesn't have a small key, so he was just checking the one chest. But, again, speaking as a game developer, it's terrifying that this game is 30 years old, or almost on 30 years old, and we're still finding ways to break this game.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff really comes down to the game doesn't like. I always mention this, but the game doesn't like when you do two things at once. So usually when you do two things at once, it starts breaking things. And that's why a number of these Japanese 1.0 base glitches are, if you ever notice, they're always like doing two things at the same time or very close to the same time, and it creates interesting results. The item dashes, hook dash, things like that. Hook, spin speed, And there's there's Trinex. Hello.
We're getting a menu Trinex fight.
Yep.
Since we're only at Fighter Sword, gonna need to use the hammer in order to take out the heads, which means you gotta pause through and get to the different menus. Alright, we got the fire head down.
Oh, that's a nice little benefit of this being in here too, is that must just be the way that it's coded, is that the ice is not actually projecting onto the floor of what would normally be the blind fight.
Schwartz has got to be careful. He does have a blue potion.
Right.
Alright, meanwhile, Carnath has made his way through Ice Palace and is now about to drop down. And we'll see what boss is awaiting us there.
I think Short should be good, though.
Yeah.
It's vanilla.
Vanilla Cold Stare. Alright, Trinex down for Schwartz. Very nicely done. And here comes Cold Stare.
And for those who are hoping for Argus, we do know where Argus is. Argus is in the Turtle Rock boss room that Trinex would normally be in.
Yep.
A little bit of tech there as well from Carnath. One of the interesting things is if you walk across that top layer there at the very tippy top of Cold Stare's dungeon, any ice chunks that fall down will just disintegrate. So it's kind of a safe spot if you need a moment.
Or 3, or 10. Also, Ice Palace Crystal.
Good to know. Small key to Turtle Rock from that pendant turn in. Yeah,
what small key was that?
Turtle Rock could ultimately prove useful for Schwartz being able to get back there and to get through all the way to the end. That should be enough now for Schwartz to do the full finish up the full front side. So it should not be a problem. Looks like he's got 2. And this is one of those locations we don't get to see very often. We do see it in entrance quite a bit.
Curiosity shop, because it is an entrance, but not of any use today.
It's one that a lot of people forget about because Curiosity Shop is really somewhere that you don't go a whole lot. So, like we mentioned before, these one-off locations will show up quite a bit.
Alright, speaking of Turtle Rock, Schwartz heads back there with that key he just got from the green pendant. And Carnath has found the... Oh wait, have we seen the potion shop already?
I think so.
Honestly, with cross keys, half the time, it's so easy to miss something. Carnath spending the cash? Oh yeah, hey, Carnath, you still have the shovel, so...
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, it's fortune teller.
Alright. Schwartz has his boots. Alright, Carnath makes his way to Eastern. Should be able to clear this now. Because he's already been here once. And actually, Schwartz is going to join him in there. So we've got both runners in Eastern.
Carnath going through, obviously, and can go to the back here with the bow in hand. There's always a lot of interesting little things to when you go through this game and take a look at it. One of the ones that always interests me is just the placement of like objectives and enemies. And oh yeah, well I guess hello.
So about that Trinex fight, let's do it again.
Yep. I was gonna say, it looks like it is random, not just a shuffle, but the bosses are the pool's randomized a little bit there.
So we know at least it's full boss shuffle because
right.
In full boss shuffle, 3 of the bosses are duplicated because of having the duplicate Light World bosses.
That's true.
In GT. Now there is the Chaos boss shuffle, which means good luck figuring out what's what. Because no rules there. If you want 5 Trinexes, we'll give you 5 Trinexes.
Oh boy. And here I was just talking about how beautifully programmed this game is in its vanilla state, where there's all these little checks to make sure that you are progressed along far enough to be able to actually go into some of these dungeons. And no, the game is just the randomizer just like, nope, screw that. Here's another Trinex for you.
Well, now the thing is, the way the Randomizer works is that the items are placed first, and then the Randomizer determines what enemies it can place based on the item placement. So there is still a logic to it.
Right. So we've got crossworld keys with a shared sword, since we started out with a sword. Gosh, we got a boss shuffle as well of some sort. This is just a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful seed.
I mean, if you want to call it wonderful, I'll call it terrifying. But sure, we can go with wonderful. Alright, Carnath is gonna, now with his bow, go check the bow lock side. I would do all of pod that I think we saw Schwartz do earlier. Alright, Schwartz has his second Trinex fight done. Yeah, I don't think either, I think to chat's point, I don't think either runner has actually, they've been to the Zora area, but I don't think either runner has actually paid off the fish.
I don't think we've seen that, no.
I would know, because I would have done a poem by now if we had. Schwartz gonna grab the lunchbox. I know we've seen Jeremiah. I don't know if we've seen lunchbox yet. I love what Penguin Tamer said in chat. This seed has a serious case of the Mondays. I mean, an hour 50 in, 3 crystals, and only still a fighter sword. Yeah, this is, like I said earlier, I mean, I thought this was quite a normal key sanity seed, but we're now starting to get to the painful part of it, being even as key sanity.
Yeah, I feel bad for... Well, not feel bad for Schwartz. I guess feel kind of like, you know... Still has got 1 crystal out of this at 149, and you probably at that point you're just kind of like, oh gosh, how many more places do I have to explore to find something? There's a chicken hut.
Gonna do a chicken clip.
Yep.
And small key to GT.
Alright, so this will be very interesting. The very interesting part could be if this turns out to be a pet seed, which I've probably cursed that into being now, because Schwartz has 2 of the 3 pendants already, so who knows? It's not ped. Oh, Kuchiri mentioning it's not ped. Pyramid would have said, okay, so you know it's not ped, but it could be all dungeons. Never know.
Pyramid would have said that it was a pedestal seed.
Might have. Your objective is in Lost Woods. Okay. Interesting.
I didn't know that.
Yep. This is one of those game modes that can kind of be, you're just kind of learning as you go along sometimes, and very much something, because one of the things too is sometimes you don't, even if you play a bunch of Mystery Seed, you don't always end up running through every single variation.
Alright, so Schwartz is going to make his GT play. Meanwhile, Carnath, this is his first time up there. I know Schwartz, I think Schwartz has been up here.
Yes. Schwartz has been up here because we've seen all of these entrances and where they lead to. And there's one more for Carnath, and he's going to go to the right. No, not yet. I was going to say he's going to go to the right and find that it is one of the entrances to Desert Palace.
Alright, he's going to make his Agri climb. Now, I think when Carnath did this, he checked the first chest here, which was a 50. Or another small key.
Small key at Desert Palace, yeah.
I don't think he checked the other chest, because I don't think he had the key at that time.
Correct.
And chat reminding us that, yeah, Aga 1, Lumberjack Cave has the well today, so there are 5 items there that Aga Tower is blocking.
Huh. Yeah, that's a good point. But Schwartz is going to be going to do the full, the clear here of the back, what would be the vanilla big key locations in its usual spot.
Which that means, what's the boss we got? Another Mothula.
Yep, Mothula, nice. good news here is that it's much easier to do this fight because you don't have the spikes going around. The ice is kind of a pain in the butt, but it could certainly be a lot worse.
There was a few years ago where they had before we had the league, there was a 2v2 tournament that had basically this bingo board where everything was where it was kind of mystery, where everything was kind of like big. Whoa!
Ooh!
Oh! There's the hook shot.
And I think we're gonna get a check here of the probably the big chest as well. And hey, it's this room that you don't always remember exists because we never go in here. Big chest, big chest, big chest, big. Oh. Oh yeah. Oh, he doesn't have GT big key yet. He hasn't picked that up.
Oh yeah, he does.
Yes, he hasn't gone to Desert Palace to clear that yet.
So anyway, it was a 2v2. So this, in some ways, you could almost say it was a predecessor to the Randomizer League. It was a 2v2 mystery tournament where where the seed variables were kind of randomly chosen. Well, at the end of the tournament, they did kind of this group race, and there were it was all of the options turned up, and there was a Trinex on ice. I don't think anybody finished that seed because I think there was some important item behind that ice Trinex that it was just a big no one could finish this.
So just to really quickly recap there, because Schwartz has picked up a couple of important things in that room right over there, the Dark Magician room. Did get that second sword, so he's got Master Sword now. Obviously, we got the hook shot from behind the first boss fight there, and he also picked up the second key to Hyrule Castle, so he's got access to go to the top now and take care of Aga and get the 5 items that are in well.
Very nice.
So yeah, doing that full clear around to the other side, big play for Schwartz. That hook shot's going to come in super handy. He can also, if he wants to, he can go back and clear out Turtle Rock now. Finish that up. And just a piece of heart and catfish.
Why don't we finally get our Zora check?
I think so, Jex. Carnath's certainly making a beeline up there like we're going to go to Zora. He's got over 1,000 rupees, so you might as well while you're here.
You might as well. I might as well pull up the fact that the king that lives in the water holds out items of fodder. But skip at your peril, the domain of Fish Feral will be your undoing trotter. Oh, well, it was a map. I guess it wasn't very perilous.
It's the map of Turtle Rock. And big key for Skullwoods now for Schwartz, doing the powder bat.
Alright. Schwartz is heading back to the Skullwoods area. Or, has he been here? See, again, trying to keep track of what both these runners have done.
I think he has not fully done it yet. I think he's still got that big chest to do.
Oh yeah, because now he's got the big key. Now he's gonna go back and do the big chest. I was
gonna say. I swore we saw him do the that check that he just dropped down there, but he hasn't done the big chest, obviously. And it's just a key, but it's a key to Turtle Rock, which may not be that important right now. He's got quite a few.
So now, one thing that was lost in all of this, Carnath did go through GT. And I think there's a big problem here for Carnath. Because he went to the right, did the right chest.
Right.
Tried to bomb jump.
Right.
Failed. And I'm assuming if I was in Carnath's spot, you know what? I'm just going to come back here when I have the hook shot.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's bad news for you, Carnath.
Yeah, small problem there.
You know, Schwartz is actually now going into Misery Mire. Or I should say, temporarily displaced Misery Mire. It's not in its vanilla location, obviously, but
hey,
making the trip down here.
We found some mini trolls.
Ooh.
Over in the I think people call this the shopping plaza, but it's essentially the Dark World Ice Rod cave location.
There's 5 items here. This will be pretty helpful. The Dark Shopping Mall is what Chad is mentioning it being called. Lots of red things so far. Here's a bottle and some bombs. Okay, so that wasn't really very helpful.
Nope.
Oh gosh, where was Bombos? It was forever ago. I'm trying to remember. It was an early check for Schwartz. I'm trying to remember where exactly he picked that out from. I knew I should have taken a note on that. And red mail showing up in Misery Mire. Carnath, meanwhile, doing the boots across to get that first chest without the hook shot, which is in GT, is not going to be able to get the other 3 right now unless we saw a hover, and we did not.
Nope. Alright, Turtle Rock is the other 5-6 crystal.
Yep. I think we already have that marked. So.
Oh, oops. My bad.
It's okay. Yeah, I think we had Pod and Turtle Rock marked. So what we're looking for right now is where the last pendant and last crystal are. And we may very well get a answer on that here in just a moment. It looks like Carnath is going to go up and take care of Tower of Hera. Well, actually, we would have got it anyways because Schwartz is in Misery Mire. So those are the 2 that we don't have any intel on right now. Yeah, Mr. Pod Big Key. We need that one.
Yeah, we will. Oh, I see what Carnath's gonna do.
Yeah, he's gonna go down and come back across to get that second chest. Yeah, I kind of saw what you were thinking there. Like, why do you skip that one chest? But that's the answer. Why? Yeah, it's a small key to Castle Tower. Oh.
That's where the other Agate Tower key was.
Uh-huh, yes.
Wait. Schwartz has both Agate Tower keys. Is there a reason why he hasn't finished this boss yet? Oh, because it is a vanilla 8-eyed troll.
Yep. Oh boy. But Carnath is gonna go ahead and do the thing. And get a piece of heart for his trouble. And here's the crystal, so the last pendant is Schwartz gonna have all 3 pendants here upon completion of Misery Mire. Red one's at Mire. You know that for certain now.
Nah, well, Swamp House is still not
Oh wait.
marked.
Oh right. True. I completely overlooked that. But yeah, so we are gonna get a little bit more intel at least.
We will know where everything is after the conclusion of this.
Yes. I think I looked over and I saw Skullwoods having a crystal, and I transposed that in my brain. But yes, indeed, Swamp Palace. We don't quite know what that is yet. So it'll be interesting to see what Schwartz gets here.
Carnath strikes the earth for a piece of heart. Schwartz goes in to face Lammo.
Interesting. Lammo, you're in the right place, but you're in the wrong dimension.
It's just you gotta think 4th dimensionally.
Yes.
All right.
And a map?
And a pendant. So
Aha.
Swamp is the last crystal. Also, Schwartz can now pull pedestal.
All right. And I get to look smart, like I knew what I was talking about all along.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's go. That's go mode. That should be go. No. Small key to swamp. We still need that.
Yep. Well, this has gotten interesting.
All right. We're going to get a blind pull. Get that pedestal hype in chat, because this is going to be very interesting. What do we have?
Oh boy, here it is. Schwartz, what do you got, buddy? 206, 36. It's a map. Wow.
Probably one of the 2 most useless maps in the game. Probably because it is one of the 2 most useless maps in the game.
If I didn't have to push my button for push to talk, I would just be doing a slow clap right now. Pretty much.
There you go. You're welcome.
Well, at least the good thing for Carnath and Schwartz is it's Monday. You've completed your run for the week. You don't have to worry about this for the rest of the week.
Unless you have to run cross keys next week.
Yep. There'll be some discussions probably in the team chat tonight. Just be like, I don't want to do this again, guys, please.
I have to do it next week. My team has already determined that I will be. What is after cross keys? That will be the spoiler key sanity. So basically, when the race starts, you will get the spoiler log. You can have a pilot who is going through the spoiler log, and then the runner basically is taking the information from the spoiler log, and basically they're working together to kind of get the most optimal path. And then after that, we'll have the co-op info share all dungeons.
Now those are going to be some very interesting races, because those are, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Jax, but those are things that we really haven't seen run in like a tournament mode or anything like that before. So those are relatively new, I think.
I believe the league had those last year.
They may have. I may just have missed that. But either way, they're not very. It's not very often that you get to see either of those two modes kind of play out. So it's just kind of a nice treat, just a little bit something different than what we normally get to see here, because it's usually just you're on your own and you're just kind of doing things by yourself, and it's a battle of self versus seed. But now you've got these next 2 weeks coming up after Cross Keys, where it's going to be, you're going to have a pilot, you're going to have a teammate, and it's really going to be about working together and getting all of that taken care of. So it's a nice little twist on the usual race that we see here.
Melissa, why is Schwartz not opening Meyer? He has Bombos. Because realistically, I don't think there's a need to open it, because basically you're being dumped out from another entrance. You really would only want to open it is if you had a reason to go backward.
Correct.
And from what I've seen, I don't think there really is a need to go back.
Right, if you know where all the dungeons are, the entrances that you need to go to, there's not really a reason to open up anything more at this point. You're just kind of mostly going to be dungeon crawling for a bit here, and business will certainly pick up at this point between both of these runners. They're both going to be fairly quickly progressing through most of these dungeons. Unfortunately for Carnath, he's still got to go back up to GT and get the hook shot out, which Schwartz already has.
Yeah, I mean, that's honestly the big... Right now, the advantage Schwartz has is by virtue of the fact that he did get the hook shot from the... from where the ice room is in GT.
Yep, vanilla big key room, yep.
And the problem is, Carnath has already been there. He did the right side, tried to do the left side by bomb jumping, wasn't able to do the bomb jump and left. So the problem is that I assume Carnath is waiting for the hook shot to go back there. Problem is, that's exactly where the hook shot is.
Right.
Whereas Schwartz is simply just waiting for the swamp small key, and once he's got that, he's in go mode.
Yep. GT Big Key was a boss drop. It was on the Desert Palace boss, so Schwartz should get that, which was Armos Knights.
Hey, we got another Argus.
Hey, hookshot coming in handy. Carnath absolutely needs hookshot because he's got to take care of. There's two Argai. We've got one here at Pod, and there's one in Turtle Rock, and those are both necessary for completion at this point. So, silvers.
There's silvers. So now at least we don't have to do Master Sword silverless.
Right. And that's the other thing too, is Carnath also, I saw Grasshopper point this out, Carnath needs a sword. Now if he goes and gets hook shot, he'll get that sword because there's one in Dark Magician room. But he's got to go back into GT for that, and that's the problem. Is that he may not exactly do that.
Yeah, that's his big problem right now, is Carnath needs to go back to GT, and the problem is that given the way he's kind of routed this, you would almost think he's going to probably last location it.
Yeah. And I'm also not really going to be surprised here if we get one of these runners complete, the other one just decides to GG it, because when you're going through a cross key seed like this, unless it's a super close race, you're kind of probably at the point where it's just like, well, I've sunk enough time into this for today. You know, just kind of want to lick my wounds and get ready for the next race. Which there's nothing wrong with that, obviously. These long seeds can be very taxing, even for the most experienced runner. So.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you gotta remember, at this point, we're 2 hours and 14 minutes in, and you've basically been by yourself against this race. And in a lot of ways, like, I mean, both of them still have 3 dungeons they've got to complete. Like, it is certainly exhausting doing this. Just the mental work you're having to do as you're going through the seed. All right. Carnath, I guess, forgetting exactly where the smith was, which, if I'm being honest, I don't remember where the smith is either.
That's the beauty. We can take him on a really long world tour. And there's Schwartz, knowing where that Desert Palace location is for the back half. Gonna go back there and fight the Armless Knights.
Yep, and he's got silver arrows, so as we mentioned, about an hour or so ago, this fight's gonna be a lot faster, because at the time, Schwartz just had fighters.
Right. And we've got fighter sword, we got silvers. Obviously, is going to be the preferred method for handling this. With 30 arrows, it's going to be super quick. So unfortunately for Carnath, this is going to be a massive time disparity between these two. Schwartz did have to pick up a few more items before coming back here, but that's going to mean that Schwartz is going to be mowing these Armless Knights straight down.
Which, the thing is that in Carnath's defense,
mm-hmm.
like an hour in, he didn't have the bow. He didn't have any of this. He didn't know, like, hey, there's the GT big key. Like, yeah, you're gonna do it.
Right. So I don't want to make it sound like I'm like ragging on Carnath.
No, and I'm not
for doing that.
Let's be clear.
It's just an unfortunate thing where Carnath found it first and ended up coming in with less gear than Schwartz. Obviously, just mowed through the whole fight there, and that's just kind of one of the unfortunate things sometimes with Randomizer, especially with this entrance randomizer or cross keys. Sometimes you go into a dungeon thinking that you're supposed to go into it and do that, and you find out later that there were items I could have found that would have made this a little bit easier. And you don't we know these things, and I always mention this. We have we have a vision from up above where we can see what everybody's doing. These guys are locked inside those boxes. So if you think of those frames that we're restreaming them in as kind of like little boxes, they're stuck inside of there and they can't see outside. They don't know what anyone else is doing. So it's really hard to say, oh, this would have been the good play, because yeah, we have all the info, so we know what the good plays are, but we're not running this and we're not trying to figure it out at the same time on limited information.
Exactly, which, again, chat bringing up how brutal this seed has been just by sheer fact that it is a cross-key seed. So once again, please be sure to give both Carnath and Schwartz follows on Twitch for this, because they're putting on 3 hour, most likely 3 hours of entertainment for our benefit. So please give them the follows that they deserve. Absolutely.
And these are both really skilled runners. They've both done very well in past randomizer tournaments. There's no that's a bad runner kind of thing. These are both very good runners, and sometimes the seeds are just like really tough, and as much as skill plays into these things, and both these runners have a lot of skill, luck can play just as much into it too. And sometimes you just check the right spot, and it turns out to be the thing that you need to go faster than somebody else.
Exactly. Alright, so Schwartz is going to take care of his 8-eyed troll. Now, technically at this point, neither runner is actually in go mode, because both are... Schwartz still needs a Swamp Palace small key, and Carnath needs to go back to GT to get that hook shot from the Ice Starmo's chest.
And Carnath also needs the Swamp Palace big small key. So yeah, Carnath has one additional thing to do besides getting the Swamp Palace small key, which is to track down that hookshot in GT and go get the Master Sword as well. And Wayfaring Fox, that was not the pleasant thing that Carnath wanted to see. He's like, shoot, not another one. But yeah, there's a possibility that we could still have to go to Aga 1 if the Swamp Palace small key is hiding in, say,
the well.
Well, yeah. We are getting a next check here from Schwartz of the fire locked chest in the basement here.
Which I unfortunately have to remind people that Carnath has been here too. So would not be good if that's what the Swamp small key is.
Did Carnath have a small key coming in here though?
He doesn't have it marked on his tracker, so no.
No, so he wouldn't have been able to get to the basement. Well,
it's just a fairy in a bottle. So.
Right. Yeah, so without having that Tower of Hera small key, which I think was also in Compass Room in GT, was because Carnath would have found that. I thought I saw it pop up in GT somewhere. The Tower of Hera small key. Maybe I may have misremembered which location it was. It was in a dungeon. I remember that much. Oh, Schwartz going back and checking Thieves Town. I like this play.
Yep,
I think this is smart.
There's still the big chest. Neither runner, I don't think either... They either didn't have the hammer or the key, or both. It was so long ago, I don't remember. Carnath, this is another understandable spot at this point where Carnath's just like, I don't know.
Yeah, if you're Carnath, this becomes kind of... It's kind of... you're thinking at this point, like, where haven't I checked yet where this could be? That makes sense. And it becomes, you're seeing him pause there for a moment, just because I assume what he's doing is he's trying to think back and maybe look over his notes and try and piece together, okay, where haven't I checked yet? What haven't I found yet? It's definitely a lot of stuff to have to take in and remember.
All right. Toot,
Flute.
toot! There is the flute.
Now that could lead to something. Maybe.
Yeah, well, we've already been to the mire area,
Right.
so
Right.
it kind of helps with travel.
Right. Well, it's not the worst. It'll help with, it'll help Schwartz get around. Yeah, you're right. It's probably doesn't lead to anything. So yeah, if you're just joining us wondering what the heck's going on, this is oh no, Carnath.
Carnath. Oh,
He's feeling super bad right now. Found another Argus. If you're just checking in, why are we at 2 hours and 30 minutes almost and nobody's beating us? It's a cross keys. Yes, indeed.
Cross keys with full entrance shuffle.
Mm-hmm.
I think Schwartz gonna run the gauntlet.
I think so. And just a reminder for those playing in the guessing game, the correct number is 0 because it was not in the dungeon.
Nope.
So yeah, we do not, for any sort of cross keys or key sanity, we don't run the bot because obviously it is not between 1 and 22 locations that is in GT. Schwartz gonna use the iframes from falling off the ledge there. It's a favorite of mine. I like doing that. Especially if you have enough hearts. You know, it's usually just lose a heart, fall off. You get free iframes, just dash right through.
Mm-hmm.
Using the fire rod to make quick work on Stophos and the Zizix. Technically true, it's 1 to 216, but I don't feel like any of us wants to actually count that high.
No.
Hey, it's under Argus.
So that means it's full-on boss shuffle because yeah, that's 3 Arguses we found.
Yep. The most boss shuffling for your value tonight.
And hey, once you do phase 1, the door opens because reasons. Coding, 30-year-old game, my head hurts.
Yep, I think a big part of it is because it's Lambolos is a one-phase boss, so I think there's probably just a flag where it's like, oh, phase done, door opens. I think that would make the most sense from a programming standpoint, probably.
Again, 30-year-old game, me as a game developer, I just cringe every time there's like
when they were programming this back in like 89 and 90, there is no way they would figure out that we would ever figure out how to manipulate everything like this. Like, this was not even a thing that people thought about back then.
True, but you know, games nowadays, there's a lot more ways to do that.
Right, like something like TaskBot was like like it was not something that people fathom. Like we'll just overwrite all the programming and just get the game to do what we want it to do and run solitaire from within a cart of Legend of Zelda 2.
So
Nope.
far the gauntlet play, not really showing up anything.
Yeah, it's Gold's there.
Oh hey, Gold's there. Alright, Cold Stare down. Let's see what Cold Stare's possession is. Just a mushroom.
Oh my. Someone in chat was asking earlier where the worst place the mushroom can be in. I think that's fairly close.
I think we found it. Alright, one thing about Boss Shovel, Aga is still Aga.
Yep. And Ganon is still Ganon, so hooray! Now comes the fun part of your Schwartz, which is remembering where the potion shop was.
What's also fun is remembering that that's Ganon. So no falling down to hole.
Yep.
He remembered.
Good. Good. Oh, I think he's gonna go. Yeah, he's gonna do tower now. I like this play. This is smart. He's now gonna open up well, and the 5 items that are back there. Is it all dungeons? Fear Agent is asking. We don't know if it's intended to be all dungeons. It may end up being all dungeons simply because of the fact that we're going into everything to look for stuff.
Yeah, we're still looking for the Swamp Small Key. I don't know, we were told... Oh, hey, Carnath is finally doing the play back to get his hook shot.
Yeah, I think Carnath is not about to feel very happy in the moment here, unfortunately.
No.
No. Like he's gonna keep going, obviously. You know, you're gonna keep going until you get that dot done from either yourself or your opponent, but and that's just insult to injury right now with that.
Ow.
The door slamming shut on him. Oh, Carnath. That's just cruel to you, buddy. He's on half a heart, so he's gonna be careful. Okay, he's through this time. I think does he still have his blue potion?
Yep.
Yeah.
I see a blue potion.
Okay, he should be okay.
Well, we can still play the game of how many blue balls do you think Aga is going to throw at our runners today?
With the way the seed has been acting, you almost want to be like, oh, it's going to be like 40. But obviously it can't be 40. 15 is the max. But I would think it'll probably be like 5. which is still a pretty high number.
Well, there's the first one. And there's the second one. Three.
Oh, don't do this. Don't do this, please.
Bolt of lightning, and now we spin again.
Okay, so this one's always guaranteed. The first one's always guaranteed to be a ball, a regular one. All right, is this 4?
That's 4.
Oh no. Oh no! Don't do this.
Here's 5.
Oh, this is looking bad.
Okay.
All right, make me look smart. Just regular shots from here on out, please. No, it's not gonna be the case. It's gonna be like, oh, it's gonna be pretty brutal. I expect maybe like, I wasn't expecting that many from the get-go. I said 5.
There's 6.
Okay, there's 6. Yeah, I was gonna say there's gotta be at least 2 or 3 hanging out still. Oh, you missed that one.
Yeah, okay, so that would be 5. And that would be 6. So, since this is still the guaranteed one, unless he messes up, 6 will be the correct answer.
Yep. All right.
All right. Well, we've got Wilsha with 5. We've got Moo Cow 1980 with 7. So,
The GFE said 6, so.
oh, GFE said 6. I am sorry,
Yep.
GFE.
Congratulations, you get the satisfaction and a job well done.
Also, you get you get to feel like you got it. Oh, hey, Carnath. Oh, he just goes. He doesn't even rage slash.
No, I see people do that a lot, and my feeling is that it's never worth like the half second you're going to spend, because at that point you're just like, well, I'm either behind or this has been hell, and I just want to get this over with.
Okay.
Yeah, big 20.
All right, so all that AGA work for Compass for Ice Palace.
I still got 4 more.
We still have 4 more. I'm just gonna call them out. Brian, we found your cane.
Woohoo! There's a map. Ice Palace.
Big key,
Big key.
for Swamp.
Swamp.
Oh!
Well, we got a key for Swamp. The problem is we didn't get the one we wanted.
Yeah. Carnath is gonna do his gauntlet, and he's only on Fighter's Sword. Or is he going for the...
No, he's... I don't know. He's gonna do it. Yep. Yeah, he just straight up skipped the left side.
And Schwartz is now going back for the GT big key. That will not pay off for him, because again, well, it'll pay off for the fact he gets $20 out of it, but yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say Schwartz, you kind of went to the wrong side for that there, but it's all right. Yeah, he's going for that chest.
So we are still looking for the Swamp Small Key.
Yep.
Link to the Past Ken, how mean would it be for Vanilla Swamp Key? Well, considering both of them have already checked that chest and it wasn't there, yeah, not that mean. Alright, Schwartz is now going back and gonna finish Turtle Rock. Carnath, unfortunately, with only Fire Sword, is unfortunately having to do Menu Simulator when there's a Master Sword on the left side. Both runners on an Argus fight, just not all in the same place. Schwartz having a bit of a problem with Argus. Now gonna go to sword, spins, and down he goes. And we got a book!
Mm-hmm.
WinFox 470, do you think both runners think they are behind with how long this seed has been going? Yes. Yes, they do.
I often feel like that you feel behind in any race until you're done. And you've got done, and the other person hasn't.
Grasshopper San says it perfectly. You always feel behind in cross keys. Schwartz has already blind pulled the pedestal, and it was the map to Ganon's tower. Alright, so Schwartz, clearly with this, is on his way to check Bombo's tablet. Or, well, or not, he can make a fool of me. Oh, potion shop, yeah, that mushroom. It was only a big 20.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah! Schwartz never checked Hookshot Cave, I don't think. I mean, we've been there to get the first one, but... Alright, so
That's true.
Carnath working on his Bombos fight.
Oh, it's a small key.
It's a small key. Oh, the tease!
Ow. So yeah, we need that small key still. And yeah, Schwartz gonna be going up. It looks like to do Ether now. Carnath trying to stay alive. Does it?
Now gonna get his fungus.
Yep.
So yeah, remember when I said how cross keys, like this was a typical cross key seed? I mean, this still kind of technically is a typical cross key seed. It's just all cross key seeds are trolly. All right, Let's try this again. Another small key. Come higher.
You just need one small key to Swamp Palace. Come on. Game. People got lives to live. They got children to feed.
I mean, given the circumstances, some of those, well, having to feed the children is still a necessity.
Yeah. And, yep, now Short's going into Ice Palace.
Yoinker's wife, our tracker, is also pointing out that that when Carnath did his run into Ice Palace, he didn't check the right 3 chests.
That is correct.
So there could be some new information on the right side.
Yep. Right, we just saw the play streak to Colts there. That was a good point. And of course, shout out to Yoinker's wife for doing all of the work tracking. This is a difficult thing to track. So being able to do this is just like, our trackers are wonderful people, and this is just another great example of that.
Yep. Important question in chat. How do you bomb the pyramid open when the bomb shop can be anywhere? That's actually the one reason why the flute might kind of be important.
That's a good point, too. Yeah. Oh, we are going to see Icebreaker from Schwartz. So we'll see him set it up here in just a moment. Don't stutter now. Come on. We get to see cool new tech. So you're going to walk to the left. He's going to set this up in the right spot. Place the block down. Yeah, he didn't quite get it there.
There we go.
There we go. And then,
yes!
Yes, there it is. Oh, no.
2 hours, 45 minutes, 43 seconds. I am the Schwartz. Mercifully, finally, is in go mode. The bad news is, it may be a while before Carnath goes back for that.
Oh, and we got to see that new tech, the Icebreaker, play out, and it just get the map for Swamp Palace as well. We know what it is. We know it's crystal, but yeah, that was really cool to see that new little bit of tech there play into the race like that. And so for anyone wondering why the small key is so important, is because we need that small key to get down into Swamp Palace in the first place. It's normally in the chest, the very first chest that is from where you kill the little water skimmer dudes, but that's not necessarily the case with Key Sanity, so you want to have that going in. And Carnath skipped the entire right side. He did not do the icebreaker. He did not do icebreaker or just do it the usual way. He went straight down the cold stair, so he missed out on that completely.
That's crystal number 6 for Schwartz.
Indeed, and I just want to really quickly shout out, thanks to the Big Speed Gaming channel for rating us. Hello Raiders, welcome to a wonderful ALTTPR League Season 2 Week 4 Mystery Seed match. We've got ourselves Carnath and Schwartz, and we've been at this for almost 3 hours because we got ourselves a cross-key random boss shuffle seed here, so it has been an adventure.
I like how Crazy Sunshine points out that he puts wonderful in air quotes, because wonderful is certainly one way to qualify this seed.
Yeah. I would simply describe it, other than wonderful, as an adventure. It has been quite the adventure here. As these seeds tend to be. We can see there, of course, that first chest was checked by Schwartz, so we know that the key is not there. Which means it was outside the dungeon and we had to go get it at some point. But we're going to see Schwartz just go mode this, so it'll be straight to the back. And yeah, I would assume at this point if Schwartz finishes this up, Carnath will probably see a forfeit from Carnath simply because it's been almost 3 hours at this point, and you just kind of want to get on with it. Which there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's still, week 4 league, so wins and losses matter for points, but it's fairly in the where's like Hylia division, right? I believe we just
Pyramid of Power division.
Pyramid of Power division, yeah. Lake Hylia was my last one, but Pyramid of Power division, based on what we were talking about earlier, it seems fairly close throughout. So it's not necessarily that a loss here or there is going to matter right now. It may matter in the end, but we don't really know how everything's going to go. We still have 3 more weeks, and at least for this matchup, I think it's 2 per week, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so there's still another race that's going to be going on here for Team 63rd and the 3rd to pick up some points this week, and it could still split the week with Broken Triforce.
I will say, looking at the updated stats right now, because, look, let's just be honest, unless Carnath has like a galaxy brain of a play, this is pretty much over. So
if it's fast Ganon, and he goes straight to Ganon. But he's still got to go up and do GT, right? No, he's got that clear.
Both of them have done GT. But anyway,
right.
So in the Pyramid of Power division, we've got the Phendrana Drifters at 18 points. We've got the Titans Mitts and the Tau Roomies at 15 points. And this win will give Broken Triforce 15 points as well. So this top half of the Pyramid of Power division is very close to each other.
Right. Yeah, we're still with 5 matches to go. That's still 15 points that's hanging out there. So even should Carnath fall short in this one, it's not game over for them. They could still very easily go on a tear and find themselves up there with everyone else. It's definitely not over for anyone. Still got a lot of rando left to play. We get a small key to Dark Palace for our troubles, and Schwartz now has all 7 crystals, so this will be straight off to Ganon.
Which means it's time for the big pig! That Tempered Sword will certainly make this go a little faster.
Certainly will. Schwartz going to be using that hook shot probably here in a moment to get some iframes to dodge those fire bats. No, he's going to go ahead and just face tank that one at least. Indeed, we have the the full pull tonight over on Schwartz's side. He's got everything except the bottle, but we'll let that one slide.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, suffer my one true weakness.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, he just missed that one. We still got 23 arrows. He'll be fine. Double.
Yeah.
He's got one more. Should do the trick.
Oh, just.
Oh no.
Just
no.
a bit outside.
Schwartz, no. Gotta be careful here. Okay, you should have this now.
Yep.
Yeah, there we go.
So.
Yeah, get those GGs ready in chat here. Schwartz walks across the little bridge.
And once he does that, iamtheschwarz finishes mercifully, finally, in first place with the SRL time of 2 hours, 54 minutes, and 10 seconds. Spam those GGs in chat. This seed is over.
Indeed. Finally, and Carnath, very much seeing it not done, is probably just going to be like, well, that's that. Carnath is like, I want off this ride.
Yep.
Indeed, crazy.
I can now report that Carnath has in fact fallen.
And I certainly do not. Certainly don't blame Carnath. You know, it's been a long seed. It's been a long race. And
Absolutely.
yeah. Definitely get some. Let's get some GGs and applause in there for Carnath for slugging through this thing. I mean, this is a really, really, really tough seed, and this is a really tough game mode. So,
all right. We've got both Carnath and iamtheschwarz in chat. Schwartz does not have a mic, so I think we'll see if we can get Carnath here in the voice chat. But to both of our runners, well, typical cross key seed, pretty much.
yeah, I mean, this was really tough, and commentators will now commence mental health counseling session. Well, thankfully, I am trained in mental health first aid, and I work with a mental health nonprofit. So, yeah, I don't do counseling, and I always tell people, you know, it's not my job, but
I'm just a video game developer, so you can take the therapy on Carnath. How you doing? How you doing, buddy?
Good evening, guys. Wow, what a seed. I was not expecting a Cross Worlds Key Sanity boss rando.
yeah, this was a handful. I don't blame either of you guys for having some difficulty getting through all of this. There's a lot to take in here, and a lot of things to check, and a lot of things to go through.
Yeah, I felt pretty excited when it was like, oh, hey, we're starting with the sword. This appears to be open. Went into Uncle's chamber. This appears to be normal. No randomizers, no nothing. And then I went to the castle. I'm like, oh, here we...
Yeah, we kind of saw it. We're like, okay, well, you know, Uncle's in his usual spot. Okay, this must be just kind of a usual thing. Nothing too difficult. And then it started getting out of control very quickly, and we were like, oh no.
We're gonna be here for a while.
Yeah. This is going to be a long night. Get your snacks out, everybody, you know.
Well, and the funniest part, too, was right before we were about to get the seed, I'm like, you know what? I'm actually going to build, because I usually have like a little paper copy for marking where my keys are, what I have, and all that kind of stuff. And like, I'm just going to build up my key sanity checklist. And then, of course, I had that, but I didn't have any paper for writing down notes on what doors led where. So, yeah, I was trying to do it all from memory, and it did not.
Yeah, that gets to be kind of difficult. If you're like as you mentioned, doing it all from memory is if you can do it, it's always like really impressive. But it's so hard just to remember where everything is and what opens up what and where do I go to get this, and yeah, just the whole cross keys game mode is kind of like organized chaos. And on top of that, we threw in a random boss shuffle. And unfortunately, Carnath, you didn't have that hook shot, and you ran into Argus, and then you ran into Argus again, and that is really tough. Like,
there was definitely a couple of rage moments when I saw not one but two Arguses in the dungeons I was able to complete, and seeing in chat there when I found the hookshot in GT. Oh, the fact that I could have gone back there so early, there was definitely some rage going on in my.
yeah. I was gonna say, did you end up finding out where those the small key for a swamp was?
Schwartz did let me know after the race that apparently it was in Ice Palace, which kind of upset me because I had that one key and I was really thinking, I'm going to mirror back, I'm going to go check out all the right side, but no, whatever, I'll just get it done. And well, if I'd done that, I might have done a little better.
Yeah, I was in the room where the icebreaker glitch works, so Schwartz kind of icebreakered over and got it.
Yeah, that's a technique I apparently need to practice.
Yeah, it's a relatively new one, so we're very interested to see if anyone would bust it out tonight. And
yeah, I've been practicing it myself, so it is still new.
I do have to ask, did you guys count how many times I dipped pod? Because it felt like I must have gone back there a ton of times.
I was gonna say at least 3, because it was the first one, and you went back and found it was Argus, and you went back again at some point, I think, in between. So I think it was at least 3. I'm not entirely sure on that, though.
It's all good.
All right, so any final thoughts before we wrap up shop here?
I'm curious, was I ever ahead?
That's the typical rando thing of, I mean, there was a point where you had 2 crystals to hit 0, but, can you ever really know if someone's ahead that early in the race?
Fair enough.
Yeah, you also did find boots before Schwartz did, so that helped you out quite a bit. But yeah, the hook shot being where it was, and Schwartz finding that really opened it up, I think, for him, and that kind of was, I think that was probably the game-changing moment.
Sweet. Any other further thoughts? As always, thank you guys so much for commentating and sticking around for the full 3 hours.
Of course, and thanks for running it. As much as that you guys both ran for almost 3 hours, plus probably a little bit extra warm-up time and whatnot. That's a lot of rando time. My brain usually starts to kind of shut off around 2.5 hours in. So,
I mean, my brain's I'm about ready to go to bed.
Yeah, that's probably what I'm doing after this.
I have to agree.
All right. Well, I dipped over to Speed Gaming 2. That race is looks like it's almost over. So,
yep.
With that, we got a full another day of Mystery Seed entertainment. I don't know if it's necessary. It's as you saw tonight. Some of these are going to be brutal. But be sure to check out the Speed Gaming schedule for all of the races that we have for coming up tomorrow. So for another shout out to Yoinker's wife, our tracker. I love how in our like volunteer chat, she goes, I have words for what this seed did. None of them are PG. She was saying this was her first key sanity track in a year or 2, and we always appreciate our trackers, especially for going through all this. So shout outs to Yoinker's wife. And Nihon Tiger, always a pleasure to have you in the commentary booth with me.
Absolutely, Jax. It's good to work with you again as well. Just to give a quick update on tomorrow's races, we're starting at 1:10 p.m. Eastern. You're going to have 3 choices, by the way, tomorrow at 1:10 p.m. Eastern. Ben Creighton and Tal, Tato versus So, and Oro versus Fraime are all on there on Speed Gaming 3, 4, and 2, respectively. And then we have a trio of races coming up at 3:10. The ALTTPR League will host Goomba and Zelnus. JTB and Chelsea Lynn is going to be on Speed Gaming at that time. And Speed Gaming 5 is going to have Yoshi and Nobly the Foreign. So those will be some interesting matchups. And then We've got 2 matches at 5:10. We got a match at 5:40. 2 matches at 6:10. 2 matches at 7:10, and a 9:10 match, and a very late night Rando After Dark 11:40 p.m. Eastern match on Speed Gaming between Hippo and Fear. So we have got so much Rando tomorrow on all of the channels. Remember to follow all the Speed Gaming channels, Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2, 3, 4, 5, as well as our, I don't think they're new, but just if you don't know, we do have ALTTPR League channels. It's the ALTTPR League, and then there's also the ALTTPR League 2 and the ALTTPR League 3. Those are all going to be broadcasting races tomorrow. Every single one of them's got at least one race. So make sure to follow all those channels if you want to make sure that you are not missing out on any of the tournament. And remember, take care of yourselves out there. Remember, someone out there loves you, and we love you too. So take care. Have a good night.
Yep.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Exactly. So for Carnath FD, for I am the Schwarz, for Yoinker's wife and Neon Tiger, I am Jex Reffi. Again, stay safe. Take care of yourselves in this time we're in right now. I am Jex Reffi. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you next mission. I'm going to bed.
Me too. Good night.